From the Crush Studio in sunny Florida, this is the Disney Crush Podcast. And now your two tempests in a teacup, Dave and Tony Ann.
On this week's The Disney Crush Podcast, the Main Street 16 gang, 4 parks, 16 rides in one day. Glenn Kessler, Rebecca Rudin, and maybe Amanda Lamb will be our guests tonight. Disney Crush Podcast is starting right now. So, the real reason why we went to Walt Disney World the weekend of May 17th, 2025, was to participate in the Main Street 16 Challenge, which is riding 16 rides, 4 parks, 4 rides in each park, as quickly as possible. And we had our team of myself, Glenn Kessler, Rebecca Rudin, and Amanda Lamb, and we had a plan, and we were going to win. So how'd that go for us?
It was such a good plan. It was going incredibly well until it wasn't.
Yes.
But let's recognize the plan was the right plan. We out of how many teams, there were only like 2 or 3 who didn't basically have our plan. It was a good plan.
There were I think 11 teams total, and 7 of them started or 8 of them started in Animal Kingdom, which opened at 7:30. And one of them started, 1 or 2 of them started in Epcot, and 1 or 2 of them started in Magic Kingdom. When I went to the awards ceremony on Sunday, they said that this year and last year, the winners did not start in the park that opened earliest. But Glenn thinks that's crazy.
Well, so let's just say that 3/4 of the way through the experience, we were in first place.
Yes,
we had on good authority that we were winning, that our plan was executed to a T. And let me just say, like, not only did I think we have the right order of the parks, but I think that we had maximized our abilities with lightning lanes and refreshing and modifying and tweaking and organizing. And it was netting fruit. And it was, I don't know if we want to get right into this, the crucial moment.
Well, let's spoiler alert here is that we came in 3rd place, and there was 22 minutes between 1st place and 3rd place. And we know exactly where those 22 minutes were spent. They were spent waiting on a bus at Wilderness Lodge.
I was going to look. Has anyone looked, because I'm doing this on my phone, how much time we actually lost? Because I sent you all the timestamp pictures of when did we exit Epcot to when did we enter Magic Kingdom?
I have good news. Amanda Lamb decided at Toledo to crunch all of the numbers and put together how long we were in each park for a grand total, which then we could extrapolate out from that what the early, the first park that we logged into, which was Animal Kingdom at 7 o'clock, 6:55 or something like that. And then when we finished at 5 p.m. ish at Magic Kingdom. Amanda, have you stopped yelling at your children long enough to?
Yeah. Which time do you want, or do you want all of them?
Well, what was the total? What was the total amount? Yeah, you all 4, and then we can add them up real quick.
Okay, I have to go to my notes app. I don't know if you'll still be able to hear me. Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So our times, all the times, no transportation time was 7 hours and 38 minutes.
Okay.
Animal Kingdom, we were in for 2 hours and 9 minutes. Hollywood Studios, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Epcot, 2 hour, 33 minutes. Magic Kingdom, 1 hour, 11 minutes.
Wow, we were fast in that Magic Kingdom.
I know. And then Epcot from 2:32 was when we left, and we checked in at Magic Kingdom at 3:58.
Oh my God, that's an hour and a half.
I know.
Right, so we lost by 22 minutes, and we were stuck for an hour and a half.
We had a great plan. We started Animal Kingdom that morning. Glenn said, trust me, I know how to get right on Flight of Passage. And he did, right? We walked right on Flight of Passage. And then we walked over to Navi River Journey. And we walked on Dinosaur. Dinosaur was a walk-on. Unfortunately, Cali River Rapids, which was the 4th ride, doesn't open until 9 o'clock. But actually, it didn't matter by that point because we almost exactly got there right when it was opening.
Yeah, the amount of time that it took to go through Flight of Passage, Navi River, walk over to Dinosaur, get off Dinosaur and walk over to Navi. We really only waited for about maybe 15 minutes at the most to get on Kali. Not because there was a line. We were maybe the 10th person in line.
Right.
Rope dropping that again. But, just because they don't open with the park. And they did open truly at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we thought, maybe they'll open at 8:55 or 8:30. And no, they waited till 9.
So we were out of that park in, I thought, a really good amount of time. No, wasted time, not too much wasted time. We even grabbed breakfast sandwiches in that 15 minutes. Thank you, Rebecca. And
her name's Amanda.
Amanda. I was like, who grabbed it? Was Jen there? No, she wasn't there yet.
No, me and Amanda. We actually tried to take a little longer grabbing the breakfast sandwiches so that we didn't have to ride.
Tony Ann suspected as much.
I said they don't want to ride Callie.
You're really going to text them and say you're actually still standing there.
And I do want to add, this was the first thing in the morning and we got wet. I know I got soaked. So yeah, so that was fun way to start the day. We left the park. Our plan was to go to Hollywood Studios next. We had made our advanced Lightning Lane selections, or 3 Lightning Lane selections, and got a Lightning Lane single pass for Rise of the Resistance. So we had 4 Lightning Lanes in Hollywood Studios. And we figured out the best way to get to Hollywood Studios from Animal Kingdom, because there are no park-to-park buses until 10 o'clock, was to go to Caribbean Beach. But 3 other teams had the same idea, and they were all on the same bus with us going to the Skyliner.
I told you it was a good plan, and one of them was Gary, who was interviewed.
Gary was the creator of the whole challenge.
Yeah, when you interviewed Jeremy a couple of weeks ago, he talked all about Gary, and there was Gary. We got to meet Gary, and it was like meeting a star. That was pretty awesome getting to chat with Gary.
Yeah, so
we all had the same idea, and that was really a testament, I thought, to wow, we were doing this right. We're killing this, and we're on to the next park, and it's just going to come down to how well have we organized our lightning lanes, and I thought we did outstanding with that.
Yeah, Hollywood Studios went without a glitch. We got on Mickey and Minnie right away. We got on Rise with no problem. We got on Alien Swirling Saucer and Toy Story Mania. Other teams got caught up at this point. There were breakdowns. I guess Toy Story Mania had broken it. They said there were a lot of breakdowns that day, they said. But we lucked out and did okay at Hollywood Studios. We had no trouble at all.
Even had time for an adult lemonade grab that we had pre-ordered and enjoying ourselves as we headed out, and quick bathroom break at the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge, and out we were onto our next park.
Right. We decided to take the Skyliner to Epcot. We could have probably walked, but I had a really bad leg, and my teammates wonderful, and they wouldn't leave me behind, and so we took the Skyliner. I don't think Rebecca wanted to walk either, honestly.
100 degrees.
It was really hot. It was
every
really
10
hot
minutes, the whatever they call themselves, the men in the
control center,
the control center were aggressively texting me to hydrate.
Well, I said that it was because Amanda got a little flush in some of the pictures. She was a little perspiry, and then he would say hydrate. So, but
in all caps.
It was 95 degrees the day that we were there. It was sunny. It was pretty ripe. It was a tough day. And just on that other point, there was a rule, a note in the rules that the entire party of 4 did not have to ride on every ride.
Right, at least half.
Accepted at least half. So 2 people. You could have done the whole event with just 2 of the 4 participating. They were clear that they didn't want you to split up your team 2 and 2, and 2 of you go stand in one line and 2 of you stand in the other line. And we abided by that. We were really quite faithful to that. But I would just say that it was important to us, not only to win, but we wanted to stand on the medal stand, whatever it was going to be, and say we did it as much as we could together and participated as a group. So we traveled as a group. When we went to the bathroom, we all went to the bathroom. When we got drinks, we all got drinks. And and when we walked slow, we more or less all walked slow. Towards the end, as it got a little closer to minutes mattering, seconds mattering, we did make some different calls.
Yeah, we figured out how to divide and conquer at that point. And Epcot, we had a good plan to divide and conquer because we went to Epcot by Skyliner. I was dreading walking all the way back to the back of France and then all the way to the front at the land. So you guys went to Remy. Remy has a single rider line. We weren't able to secure a lightning lane for that. So you guys used the single rider option. We were allowed to do that. They didn't know that Remy had single rider.
Yeah, because the rules were if you used single rider, before this, you have to send them a picture with a timestamp of every single thing that you do when you enter the park, when you exit the park, and every ride you get on.
Right.
So if you're doing single rider, they wanted you to say, we're doing single rider, and then you needed to send a picture of each of your single riders the same way with the timestamp. So when I sent that over to the command center, I guess they're called, they responded, wow, we didn't even know Remy had a single rider.
But I think that was the right call. How long did you wind up waiting for Remy in the single rider line?
20 minutes, I think it was, approximately, because I was a little faster, I think, and then you two came out a little bit after me. What about 20?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there was
not bad at all.
There was a problem with Three Caballeros that day. That was supposed to be our next ride, but it had broken down. I heard somebody said like the hydraulics was coming out of Panchito, that he was shooting hydraulic fluid out of him. Wow. I don't know. That's what I was told. But so we wound up riding the land. We actually had a lightning lane for the land, which was a good thing because it was like a 30-minute wait for the land. We did have a lightning lane for that. And then we went over to Figment thinking, oh, we'll walk right on Figment. And it was a 35-minute wait posted. And it was out in the sun, the line. It wound up being 17 minutes, actually. That was where we decided to divide and conquer. Glenn gets hangry when he doesn't eat. And we knew he had to ride Mission Space. Rebecca and I weren't going to ride Mission Space. So I said, why don't Glenn and Amanda go get lunch at Connections? And then Rebecca and I will ride Figment. And while they eat their lunch, and then they can go ride Mission Space while we eat our lunch. Amanda said, but I want to ride.
I wanted to ride every single ride. I didn't want to sit out.
Yeah. Amanda rode all 16 rides. She's the only one of us that rode all 16 rides. She's the real champion of the day, I have to say.
I shoved that pizza in my mouth from Connections as we were going through the Mission Space line, and it was worth it.
Yeah. So you rode the green side or the orange side?
Oh, the easy side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine her slamming a slice of greasy pizza and then immediately going on the orange side? It would have been.
What was the wait time like?
Like
nothing.
We just had to wait for the little show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And then we were out of there. We took our parting photo at Epcot, and we headed over to the monorail.
And we were getting wonderful feedback from the command desk or whatever that, you guys are doing outstanding. You guys are doing great. And we were thrilled. We were riding high. Our emotions were incredibly high. We were feeling good. And we were fed at that point.
Yeah.
We had finished 3 parks. It was middle of the day. Epcot was clearly very, very crowded, and and we were happy to be leaving there. And on to our final park, guys. All we got is a quick monorail ride to the TTC, grab the second monorail, head over to Magic Kingdom. And at that point, I'm not joking, we had every ride already booked with lightning.
Yeah, we had lightning lanes for everything.
The skipper came through in the most powerful way, got Peter Pan for like 30 minutes later from when it was, at that time. We had Buzz. We had, what was the other one that we were looking
for?
Space
Mountain.
Space Mountain.
We had Space Mountain. And the only one we would need to walk on was the TTA, which had a 10-minute wait.
It wasn't the TTA. It was
the
Speedway. The Speedway.
The Marlin Speedway.
Yeah.
Which was a 5-minute wait.
5-minute wait. And that was it. And we were like, guys,
we were going to win. We were going to win, except the monorail broke. The monorail went down. And it was at that point we had to figure out, the rules were you had to use Disney transportation. And we had to figure out how to we were at the front of the park. How are we going to get to Magic Kingdom? There was no direct buses from Epcot to Magic Kingdom. There's only the monorail, but the monorail was down. So we realized we had to go to a resort. And I think we picked the wrong resort. We picked the first bus that was there, which was Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge. Unfortunately, it made 2 stops. It stopped at Fort Wilderness first. And the bus for Magic Kingdom, or the boat for Magic Kingdom, was in the back of Wilderness Lodge. I mean, not Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness. It stopped at Fort Wilderness first. The bus and boat to Magic Kingdom from Fort Wilderness was at the back of the resort. We were at the front of the resort. That wasn't going to work. So we stayed on the bus and went to Wilderness Lodge.
Only to find out.
And the next bus was going to be in 20 minutes or something. And we hesitated to walk to the boat because I know those boats are slow. And if the boat had just left the dock, we might be there as much as 40 minutes. We probably should have walked to the back to the boat. But in hindsight, we didn't know what we were doing.
So Jen, who is not on our team, went to Geyser Point, and I do know that
the boat
two
came.
boats went in the time that we were waiting for the bus.
Can I pause for a second and give a quick shout out? You mentioned Jen Pulliam.
She was our support person.
Yeah, Jen was with us. She wasn't with us at Animal Kingdom because that would involve waking up at an ungodly hour, 5 a.m. and getting rolling. But she joined us at Hollywood Studios and was with us all day, getting us drinks and snacks and food and tables at Connections and waiting for us. And she was just the absolute best, and she's just so fun and so light and has a great energy about her. She was an MVP of the day as
she
well.
Kept our spirits up. She really did. She really did. Yeah. So my regret is there was a bus for French Quarter right next to the bus for Wilderness Lodge, but it wasn't there when we got there, but it did show up right before we pulled out. And I feel like that would have been clutch for us, but I've resolved myself to the fact that it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and let's be also very kind to ourselves. It was late in the day, hot day. We were exhausted. We had woken up very early. One of us had come in that night and had slept how many hours, Amanda?
4 hours the night before.
Yeah.
We were not at our best at that moment, and it was it was the best of dealing with an awful situation, a curveball that we did not anticipate. And of course, I mean, as we're saying this, like there are no bus options from at Epcot that would take us to any Magic Kingdom resort, any bus that would take us to any boardwalk resort. So we were left with very few options of buses, to resorts to figure this out. We wanted to honor the request.
We did text and ask
to not take non-Disney transportation, aka Uber, Lyft, or even a minivan was ruled out of being Disney transportation. So we did honor that, and 90 minutes later we rolled into the Magic Kingdom.
There may have been some meltdowns in those 90 minutes.
Yeah,
some of us had very big feelings and some tears.
Yeah. So
we powered through in record time. That was our shortest amount of time.
An hour and 10 minutes.
No, hour and 11.
It's important to say an hour and 11.
Hour and 10 was a different team who got the fastest.
Oh my God.
For Magic Kingdom. And I blame my potty break before Peter Pan.
Oh, stop it. It's not your potty break's fault. Yeah. So you guys did Peter Pan. I went and waited by the Speedway. We got on the Speedway. We got on Buzz. We had lightning lanes. And Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Yep. I cried on Space Mountain.
Oh.
not for totally bad reasons.
The picture of us on Space Mountain just really shows it was the last ride of the challenge.
You guys were done.
Yeah, nobody was mugging for the camera at that point. We were just hilarious.
But so then we came out, we took our final picture in front of the planter saying that we were done with Magic Kingdom. And you guys met another team at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the bathroom.
So we did not have it as bad as some other people, right? What did she tell you?
They were stuck on Toy Story for over an hour when it broke down. So then I think they went to Magic Kingdom and just decided to sit and have lunch at
Skipper
Canteen.
And when we were finishing our fourth park, they still had a whole other park to go. So,
Yep.
so we came in third place. There was some confusion because I think we technically finished first. So they told us we won, but then they realized that it was by total time in the park. So the teams that started at 8:30, when they finished, they realized, oh no, they were in the park less time, or they were on the race course less time. And so we lost by 22 minutes, which separated third place from first place, which is our friends at Mickey File and Monorail Tales. Congratulations, you guys. We thought you were crazy for starting at Epcot. I'm going to tell you, we still think you're crazy for starting at Epcot.
Still think you're crazy.
Yeah. But I kind of get why you did. But I think if we do it again, we probably wouldn't change anything, except we might have some contingency plans in place for what happens if this breaks down. Then what are we going to do?
Yeah, I feel like if we discussed contingency plans, but not to the detail of when we leave Epcot, what bus is smartest for us to take. Like we knew that if something happened, we had contingency plans,
Right.
but not so detailed to the point that like when something went wrong, we didn't just panic and get on the first option.
Right.
And I have to say, another team followed us.
Yes, we were followed. Somebody was watching us. And if we had hopped off that bus, they probably would have hopped off it too. So
right.
I'm convinced they would have. So
yeah, I mean, they didn't come in first or second, so it wound up being okay. But at the moment, they were the second place team.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it bears mentioning that the first team, obviously the Mickey File team, they had started at Epcot. The second place team had started at Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Of all of the teams, as you mentioned, 7 out of 11 that had started at what we still believe was the better choice in terms of, getting things rolling, Animal Kingdom. We finished first out of that team. If not for that totally out of left field, unexpected monorail, like colossal monorail failure that burned an hour and a half. I think we did really well. I think we demonstrated what we set out to demonstrate to at least one another is that we're wonderful planners. We know Disney. We are good at using the apps, and we had some high moments, we had some low moments, and I think in the end, I think we ended with what I feel is a very prideful experience. Despite the snafu that may take from first to third, I have a lot of pride. I'm always going to look back on that experience and say, I think we did it well. And if we do that same experience, not 10 more times, I think 10 more times we probably win. We just caught the one day when the biggest colossalist, explosion of bad thing could have happened.
Right. I do want to take this opportunity to thank the people over at Main Street Magic Podcast for organizing this. It was a lot of fun. In hindsight, it was a lot of fun. I think while it was happening, we were kind of maybe hating our lives.
It was fun until about 2:45.
Right.
Yeah, there was just like maybe a couple hours where it wasn't a lot of fun. But other than that,
Amanda, what did you compare it to?
Oh, I said it reminded me of like when I've ran half marathons. I felt like I had to completely ignore like what my body was feeling in the moment. Like I don't do well in the heat, but I didn't let I didn't even let myself think that I wasn't doing well, you had like, I had to have like the liquid IVs and the drinks and the fans and, it was extreme. It was extreme physically.
It was. I think, I would like to ask them that if they continue to do this event, maybe think about that, about the heat, and maybe do it at a different time of year. Because that was brutal. It really was. I did go to the award ceremony. It was at the Drury, and we did get really nice medals and a $25 gift card and a backpack. And thank you for those prizes. And we enjoyed those medals a lot.
I wore it the entire day.
I just
Whole
found
day.
your photo shoot.
Amanda in my photo
I
shoot with
saw
our
that.
medals.
I saw that. I saw that.
We look
Yes.
really cute in our medals.
Didn't somebody try to pair you two together while you were out hanging out together all day on Sunday?
Yes. So right after you left, we were having a drink at the Edison because I
that's
wanted
right.
a porthole so bad. And the couple next to us were like, "Ooh, what's your situation? Are you like?" And I was like, "Oh, well, his girlfriend's like one of my best friends." And he was like, "Oh, well, she's not here." Like,
God.
and my response was,
Rude.
"No, I would choose Rebecca over him."
Oh
And
my
so Eden
God.
was like, "Yeah, me too."
Can we mention at this point they were D3 members?
Oh yeah,
Well, then you know.
they were
If you know,
really
you know.
funny.
Yeah. Was there anything else anybody wanted to reflect on or say, or would you do it again?
Yeah, I would do it like next week. if you
Really?
wanted me to.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed. I hate to say it, but I really think that we, in my mind, we won because we did everything so great and we proved what we needed to prove. I would love to do it again. I would do it again with you guys. I talked to my boys. I was telling them all about it, and I was like, "It's a team of 4. You guys want to come with me? Let's go!" And we would literally run through the park. We'd finish the entire challenge in 4 minutes.
Right. It would be fun to even not do it as a part of like this specific day, but like the 4 of us go and try to recreate the exact same
The
thing
same thing.
and
Yeah.
see how we could cut time.
I kind of love that idea.
Yeah. Next week, what are you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Now, how about next January?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
And I will
Can
have
we-
to say the people that ran it were really great throughout the day. Like when a ride went down, they were sending texts like,
Mm-hmm.
this is happening. You can, when Three Caballeros was down, Three Caballeros has been down 2 hours. You can go ride Figment. When it came back up, 20-minute buffer.
In
If
case
you've
you were
already
in line.
ridden Figment, that counts. But as of this time, you have to ride. So they were very good throughout the day. And I told you they yelled at us to hydrate.
Hydrate.
many
And I
times.
did tell them that when the award ceremony was over, I went up to Chuck and told him that you said that you really appreciated their support throughout the day. And like I said, Jeremy, Rhonda, Gary, and all the people that organized this event, thank you so much. And maybe we'll see you again next year. But maybe not in May.
Did you mention how much raised?
Well, they raised over $1,500, and I happen to know by the names, because if you go to the donation page, by the names, there's a scrolling list of names of people who donated. Our friends, names that we recognized. Our community, which includes Mickey File, Monorail Tales, Geekin' on Walt Disney World, and the Disney Crush. We raised over $400 of that $1,500 that I know of. There were some anonymous donations too, so that might have been our friends as well. So thank you for that. I did tell the organizers, because some of our friends and listeners did give us the feedback that they wish that they could have donated directly to a page where they knew that we were going to get credit for it. And the organizers do realize that if there's a competitive edge to the fundraising, they might be able to raise more. So maybe next year they're going to try to figure out how to do that. So, yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. What?
And I want to say too, thank you for letting me be a last minute add-on. I know originally you asked me earlier in the year and I declined, and then a week before I changed my mind.
Rob Maderi, but you're all right.
I was so glad I got to go. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And thank you, Tony Ann, and Tori, I guess, apparently, as well.
It was me and Tori that were originally supposed to do this.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for getting the ball rolling. It was for Disney regulars, Disney aficionados.
Right.
It was another way to experience the park, another way to add some freshness, some excitement, some energy. a little drama, good and bad, to our experience. And I'm very thankful that we did this. And, like we're saying, maybe, who knows, maybe we do this again next year. Maybe this is a regular thing. And, I had a great time. Thank you. And I am so thankful for, again, all the memories that we made during that race, before, after, the whole weekend. You guys are very, very special people in my life, all of you. And I miss you. I don't get to see any of you as much as I'd like to. And I'm thankful for the time that we get to spend together.
Yeah. Should we also say that Glenn and I probably should not hang out, just the two of us? Because
no, I think you two should hang out. I love
they're like, they can hang out like once a quarter or something. I think they'd both be in big trouble.
We had so much fun.
We did. Our special.
What did you do? You couldn't get your porthole, and then you were gonna go see shows. Did you wind up not going to see shows, or did you go see shows?
We did lots of things.
We saw shows. We made the show so fun.
We held hands and skipped while we.
Oh, I saw that video. I did see that video.
We had a few drinks. We saw shows. We did one ride, which was the most important ride. Do you remember?
No, what ride?
That people mover.
Oh, that's not even a ride.
Oh my God, bite your tongue.
It's
my
just
favorite.
an opportunity to have a nice, slow conversation.
Wait, on the people mover, did you try the trick?
He wouldn't let me.
What's the trick? I don't even know.
You wave your finger like a entitled person,
and then they let you go again.
Go around on that twice. Oh my goodness!
I know.
Oh my God, Tori!
But we had dinner to go to, right?
Yeah, you had to go to Toledo, which wasn't 40% off
for our cheap meal. That was just normal.
We had the funniest moment at the airport. We had almost no time left.
Oh, the grandma and grandma review.
Yeah. So we had bought some of the chips that are in the China pavilion, which are, just weirdly titled,
numb and spicy.
Numb and spicy, whatever, kind of chips. And I was like, I don't know what that word means. I don't think they mean that word. So we saved it until we finally got to the airport. Well, we didn't save it. We ran out of time, and then we ate it at the airport. And this is just who Amanda and I are, just crazy, just like adult children walking around. Yes. And we were like, oh, we have a couple of minutes before we go through security. Let's sit on a bench and record a little video of us eating the chips, and we'll send to our friends. And there happened to just be only two rocking chairs, wooden rocking chairs in the middle. So we sat down, and within like 10 seconds, I was like, well, I'm grandpa. And she was like, well, I'm grandma. And then we recorded the most hilarious video. I think you would all agree it was very hilarious.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Video in our accents. It was just, oh my God. You are a true gem, a true joy. And yes, you and I are too similar. We can never hang out together without supervision, without adult supervision.
Yeah, we need a grown up.
All right, guys. I just want to thank you guys for coming on. Amanda, thank you for joining us last minute. Rebecca, Glenn, we have to plan for next year. If any other people would like to do it next year, as soon as we find out the dates, we will let everybody know. I did tell the planners, Jeremy and all of them, that our group has some good planners too. So if they need any help, maybe we can be more involved in the future of the Main Street 16. It's for a good cause. We raise money for Make-A-Wish, and we would like to do it again, I guess, according to my teammates. So thank you, Rebecca, Glenn, Amanda, and thank you to our listeners. We will see you next time on the Disney Crush podcast. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I think that's it. All right.
The key of truth has spoken!
Put a check on that. Can you do that, Dave? Can you put a check on that one?